Alright, here's a Goodman Inducer motor. So basically I came home and my house was like 45 degrees. I went out to my furnace. There was definitely a call for heat. I took the door off, so it reset the system. I held the door switch closed and my inducer motor started spinning, and it spun really slow, and I got code 3. Code 3 is an open pressure switch. So I pulled the line off of the inducer motor and the housing where the inducer motor mounts, and I put slight suction onto the pressure switches, and they closed, and my igniter started to glow. Therefore, I knew it wasn't a pressure switch problem. My inducer motor just was not turning fast enough. It had the proper voltage, it just wasn't turning fast enough. So I pulled it out and I ordered a new one, and I decided to see what was wrong with my inducer motor. My 2-year-old inducer motor. Actually, this month it is 2 years old. Well, I took it apart and I was a bit shocked. So first, you have to pull this cap off. It's not that easy. If you see, there's a spring in there, and I just took a scribe and I popped one rung off at a time. And after about the second one, I was actually able to finagle it and just wiggle it back and forth a little bit and pop it off. Okay, so see, here is my electric motor. As I was pulling apart, I was hoping there would be brushes, but I'm not a motor expert. I'm an electric motor expert. I know a little bit about them, and I know that brushes being worn down will cause the motor to turn slow, but couldn't be that lucky. Now, this obviously didn't come off this easy as well. I could just pull this right off, but what I did is I just took a screwdriver and I just worked it back and forth on both sides. This side and this side. Alright, the bearing is slightly pressed in there, but it's not like, you know, frozen in there or pressed in with heat or whatever. So I got to this point and I was like, alright, well, let me go ahead and pull the base of my motor off and my winding. I checked it, and if you notice, it's slightly serrated in there. You can't really tell, but it's serrated in there like it's supposed to be. This is a brushless motor. But then when I got down to my actual rotor, right, my stator, remember, it was serrated, but my rotor is smooth. It's completely smooth, and if really close, you can almost see where at one point in time it was serrated, but not anymore. Why not? Well, my top bearing had a good fit, but I'll try to demonstrate this to you. My bottom bearing, you see that movement? Well, that movement right there indicates bearing failure on a 2-year-old inducer motor. See that? That gap? Well, what's going on is, as this motor's turning, it's wiggling back and forth. It's just going back and forth, and it's grinding up against the harder stator. The rotor then loses all of its serrations and no longer makes contact with, or barely makes contact with, the stator. Therefore, it doesn't turn. So the bearing failure on this 2-year-old motor cost me $150. $100 plus $50 shipping because it's cold outside and I want my heat back on. So just a piece of advice: don't buy Goodman. Spend an extra grand and, I don't know, buy a Rudd. Buy something worth some money, or something that you're gonna not have to fix in 2 years. Because this part cost me $150, and if I would have known that, I would have probably put that $150 in a better model. Also, the $150 I spent now, I'm renting my house out. I'm sure I'm going to have to replace quite a bit more on this furnace if it's breaking down in 2 years. I'm going to have to be putting stuff in it all the time, traveling back and forth and fixing it. So, I shouldn't have bought a Goodman.